In this video, I'd like to explain about my communications with Dolores Cannon. She's a lady that wrote, I think, 17, 18 books about clients in hypnosis, finding about other universes, higher expressions of self, doing healing, and a great many other things. My first communication with her was probably about 3 months after she had passed, after she died. She come and I was just in deep meditation. Somebody says, "Hi, how are you?" I said, "Who's this?" It says, "Dolores." I said, "Dolores who?" She said, "Dolores Cannon." I said, "Nice to meet you, Dolores. Appreciate your work. Amazing what you did." And I've also worked with many of these volunteers, met hundreds of them either online, in person, done hypnosis with some of them. Same stuff that she wrote in her books come through. What she explained to me was that she said I was more awake than everyone else and she had to come and tell me that. And I said, well, could be some entity pretending, whatever, I don't know, whatever. She insisted that I was more awake than everyone else. I said, well, I don't know about that. I didn't really think about it at all. I never thought who was more awake or anything. But after I thought about it a few days later, I realized, yes, she was right. I am more awake than most. Because I've reached, 5-dimensional, 8-dimensional levels, remembering the Arcturians, the ships, all, other universes, all these different things. Everything that's basically in her book, collectively I'm awakened to most of it. So I realized that she was right when she said that. So that was what she explained. So a week later, I went through hypnosis with a friend of mine who she had taken Dolores's course. Dolores taught her in person. And went through hypnosis. I thought, well, what the heck? I don't know what that was all about. But I'm going to, I'm doing hypnosis on remembering more and more about the Galactic Federation, about healing, about regeneration, being younger, and many other things. But part of that hypnosis session was to communicate with Dolores again. And right away I made a connection with her, and we had chatted a little bit. But there was one thing that she wanted me to explain, and this is a very important thing, because she passed. She could have came back, but it's just her time to be where she is at that time. But one thing that had bothered her that she wanted me to explain, to pass on to everybody else, was she never really figured she would pass when she did. And if she did, maybe she would have thought about one aspect of the books that she wrote, the hypnosis healing, quantum hypnosis healing, and some things that she had done. And one thing that sort of she wanted me to explain, that she was important to everybody. The importance of the fact that she was the only one that really taught people. You can do it online on the quantum hypnosis healing website, but she thought it would have been good for some other people to teach. And now that I'm higher dimension, I totally understand what she's explaining. The fact that everyone is waking up, and we need as many people, volunteers as well as anybody else who's waking up, to be involved in this process. And part of it is her hypnosis, her books, her hypnosis, and everybody else that's waking up, all the books, all these other volunteers, all my many YouTube videos explaining all these things, trying to put everything into higher dimensional ideas, into words, understandings, so that it makes sense to everybody. Believe me, it's very hard for me to make these videos, to put all this higher dimensional stuff into words that everyone can understand. But I try to make it as simple as possible, and everyone seems to really like it and make sense to everybody. Now, in saying this, so the fact that there'd be more volunteers, say one in every, say, major city or every country, or zones within a country, where they could go and take a course and meet a person, either pay for private, one-on-one, or whatever, to learn this quantum healing hypnosis stuff. And I have friends that have taken Dolores' course. They've also taken many other courses from many other hypnotists who are very good. I've taken some courses from some who are very good. And through this whole thing, I've learned my own sort of technique. If I'm working, because I work mostly with volunteers, there's no need to go through the past life regression stuff that Dolores would go through with people that may be of lower dimensional, or people in the past, slowly awakening, which was probably something that needed to be done. So this is what she wanted to explain, that this is a very important thing, that this time that many people are all involved in this. Now, as a business point of view, the people that run this, her daughter and a few other people that help, that you're giving more and more hypnosis people teaching this. So you have 10 times, 100 times as many people learning this. You're giving diplomas to these people. But all these people are teaching people, and all these people are out there, and how you make in a monetary idea of three-dimensional idea of moving in fourth-dimensional idea of the idea of money still, is that you have all these people buying the books and involved in other sorts of trade show events and seminars that could be conducted with the permission of quantum healing hypnosis. So you can see how the vast number of people right now to awaken. Now another aspect is that she wanted to explain as well, and I know this has gone on, because I know, I've met 500,000 people in my life, so I know how to connect with people, and now that I'm higher dimensional, you become telepathic, clairvoyant, you just know all this stuff. One thing she wanted to explain was the fact that some of these people, these volunteers, started teaching. Some of these volunteers got kicked out or shunned by Dolores' people. So they're not part on the website that they have taken the course, so they've been shunned and cut out of the whole situation. Now, one the big thing is understanding three-dimensional, fourth-dimensional, fifth-dimensional, eight-dimensional law, free will, but also the fact that Dolores wrote these books on these volunteers, the 3 ways of volunteers especially. Now these volunteers can't help but be who they are. This is where discrimination comes in. The aspect of discrimination is something you can't do something about. So some of these people I know and have been shunned, and this is called a class action discrimination lawsuit, because you shun these volunteers. The volunteers can't help but be who they are. This is why she went through and wrote these books to educate people on these 3 ways of volunteers. Most of them are first wave. They can't help but go out to do their own research, to do their own teaching, but then you shun them. And all they want to do is just help so much. They came here, they volunteered to help everybody, and yet they're kicked out. That's not a very nice thing to do. It was a very, very three-dimensional thing that was done. This disturbed Dolores very much. This is why she came to me in the first place, to get this message across. Now, because I deal with all these other volunteers, it won't take me very long to get hundreds of them together for any kind of lawsuit over anything, really. But she explained to me there's no point in anyone suing anybody. She explained to me that everyone, these volunteers, will work together, as well as all the people in her organization will realize, hey, you know what, this is the right thing. It is a higher dimensional thing that we do this. Allow other people to teach. Of course, you have to pick very, very good people that are very good at teaching. Don't just pick someone because they're popular or because of anything else. You have to really be committed to that. Or please do not pick them. It's not. It's about the cause of coming here to help awaken everyone. So she explained that there's no point in having any kind of lawsuit or anything, because all this has to be is to be explained. Everyone will get it and understand it, and they will all pick up and move to higher conscious levels of understanding and sharing of all of this. This is a message she wanted me to pass on. Sorry if some of you don't like this ego, but it's a three-dimensional thing, and it's just something that has to be said, and she asked me to say this. I'll pass on many other messages if they were of anyone that wants anything to come through me to be passed on about anything, on any issues about ascension. But anyways, I'm doing this. I don't like to have to do this. I don't like to have to say this at all. But it's something that she asked me to do, and in the bigger picture of it all, it helps everything ascend to a higher conscious level more and more. Especially the first wave volunteers. They have it hard enough with, trying to do their thing without getting shunned for just being who they are. So anyways, feel in your heart, feel up here, and hey, you know what? You don't have to believe me, or you don't have to like it at all. You can just go in hypnosis and you just ask Dolores if this is what needs to be said. And find out for yourself. You know how the hypnosis thing works. Just ask and find out. So anyways, I have many other videos explaining many other things. This is mostly just for the 3 ways of volunteers. It really doesn't really concern a lot of other people. But anyways, thank you. Watch all my many other videos about extraterrestrials, crop circles, being on their ships, all the different ascension, telepathy, all these different videos. Thank you.